Hello everyone, it's good to have you here today. If you can remember, we discussed in our previous class about the difference between a phrase and a clause. And if you remember, we said that a phrase is a group of words that does not make meaning on its own. It can only make meaning if you attach it to other group of words to make up a sentence. As for a clause, it obviously makes meaning in isolation. So today we'll be talking about another difference between a phrase and a clause. A phrase can either be a subject, verb, object, complement, or adjunct. Also, I would like you to know that a clause has all of these components. That is why it makes meaning, just like a sentence would make complete meaning. A clause has a subject and a predicate. In the predicate group, we will always have the verb and complement, or verb and adjunct, or verb and object, and in some instances we can have the verb go alongside the adjunct, complement, and object. So this is one major difference between a phrase and a clause. So remember, a phrase can either occupy the position of one of these components I initially mentioned, the subject, verb, object, complement, or adjunct, while a clause has all of the components in its structure. If you are given a particular group of words to identify whether it's a phrase or a clause, you should look out for these components. So let's take an example to illustrate what a clause will look like. John came here yesterday because he was bored. In this single sentence, we have two clauses. John came here yesterday is a clause. Because he was bored is another clause. John came here yesterday is a main clause. Because he was bored is a subordinate clause. You realize that the main clause has its own subject and predicate. John is the subject of the main clause. Came here yesterday is the predicate of that main clause. Now let's take a look at the subordinate clause. Because he was bored. Because is a subordinating conjunction, and because it introduces that part of the sentence, we call it the subordinate clause. When we want to look at for components in the subordinate clause, he will be the subject, was bored will be the predicate. Having explored the structure of both clauses, you realize that both clauses actually have all of the components within their structure. This is one reason why we'll call both structures clauses. Therefore, a phrase does not make meaning in isolation and can only occupy a single component of a sentence, while a clause makes meaning in isolation and is likely to have all of the components within a structure. Thanks for listening. I do hope you understood all that I said so far. And if by now you have not hit the subscribe button, please do so and follow me for more differences between a phrase and a clause.